Hey guys, Gisela Magic here, and if you've been studying psychology or literature, or I don't know, I didn't think about this joke very far ahead of time, perhaps you've heard of Desolator's Paradox. How do you not give a crap about pro-level play at all, but still want to know what's popular in the meta, know what the net decker is going to show up with, and know what you have to build to beat them? It's a paradox. I mean, it's like disinterest, but it's necessary. Well, what's the result? Well, basically, I still haven't looked at the actual tournament results in the deck list in the top 16, because I just don't care. I really sincerely don't care. Also, when I build a deck, I want it to be 100% my idea, not, oh, that's neat that they were doing, I bet I can improve on it. No, I want it to be my idea. I mean, that's just how I am. So, I do understand, though, from playing on X-Mage and hearing people and looking at card prices, because anybody can say anything's popular or powerful, but card prices are actual proof. That means people, you know, are buying them. Duh. So it looks like Red Rush is what we're going to have to stop. I know how the decks work. I've played against them on X-Mage. So I was like, let's do it. Challenge on. Let's build an assassin deck that can take it out. And holy crap, does this have an insane advantage over that deck. It's almost not even fair. If they show up with Red Rush and you show up with this, you are going to win the end. I mean, just, you could make 8 mistakes and still win with this deck. It just doesn't lose to red. It just simply doesn't. It might as well have put in pro red cards, which obviously no longer exist. So what stops Red Rush? Well, Death Touchers, okay. First Strikers, definitely, especially since red creatures now have really low toughness. Wouldn't really, no, actually it does stop Trample, come to think of it, yeah. Yeah, if you first strike it, they can't trample pass. I don't know if you guys knew that or not. Kind of obvious. And then obviously life gain. I mean, that even goes back to modern. Like, if you really want to counteract burn, you either try to out-burn them, shut them down with, well, creature kill. That's the other one, obviously, because you kill their creatures, they can't rush with anything. And that's everybody's solution right now, is just put a boatload of creature removal in. No matter what colors you're playing, you mainboard like 12 kill spells, and it's kind of annoying. I hate playing against that, but like I said, life gain. They will burn themselves out and run out of cards. So I just thought, let's just take all of that and put it in a deck. So I did, and it works. And the funny thing is, if you take this deck and go up against just any other deck, it still stands a really high chance of winning. And almost every mathematical scenario indicates that this will win on turn 6. And in my playtesting, it just constantly won on turn 6. Very, very, very strange. It's going to be your turn 6, though, so it might be, like, technically not turn cycle 13. I don't even know how you'd consider that. Technically turn 13, but turn cycle number 6.5. So, anyway, this is White Picket defense. Anyway, Blighted Steppe, this is awesome. It taps for colorless, it comes in untapped, yay. And if you pay 4, you can sack it, so in other words, 5. And you gain 2 life for each creature you control. So if the game's stalling out, or if you just need a life gain trigger or anything, there it is. It's just nice late game, and there's only 4 colorless in the entire deck. You're almost never going to get stranded with, like, 2. And almost everything in this deck uses generic as part of the cost, too, so it's not a big deal. Then Sandstone Bridge, do not underestimate this card, especially in this deck. Now, almost every spell is 3 or less, and the vast majority are 2, and then there's some 1s. But you do want to get to 4 if you have a Gisela, so there's 22 lands, and you actually need more than that. I'll get into it in the gameplay, it'll make way more sense. That's why you should really watch the gameplay videos. But basically, +1/+1 in Vigilance until end of turn. Very, very, very important in this deck for like 4 different reasons. Then we got Straight Plains, and then I just threw in 2 Shefet Dunes because they're freaking amazing. Oh, whoops, these tap for colorless, so I guess there's 6 now. I literally just added them like 60 seconds ago. And I've been recording for 5 minutes. How did I do it? Even I don't know. But you can pay 1 life, not a big deal in this deck at all. Add 1 white to your mana pool, so just at will, boom, there it is. You know, so if you need it once or twice, not a big deal at all. And then if you pay 4, you can sacrifice a desert, so this one. And creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn, and you can only do it as a sorcery. That's unfortunate. But that actually is pretty important for either winning the game or just making a huge move that shifts the game. Mostly because of lifelink, also because of first strike. It just works. Everything in this deck works with like 2 or more other cards. It's pretty crazy. Kind of on accident too, by the way. So first off, we got God-Pharaoh's Faithful. Whenever you cast a blue, black, or red spell, you gain 1 life. Never gonna happen. I'll just put it out there right now, never gonna happen. But they're going to start thinking that either in your main board or your sideboard you have a blue, black, or red spell, because why the hell would this be in your deck otherwise? But just to play around deck and stone in case they're playing something stupid like that, Tasseled Dromedary, 2 of those, it's a 0/4 for 1 without any abilities. I mean, Confusion, literally the same card. Why not? I would not put in 4 of either. Then we got 3 Authority of the Consuls because, you know, this deck's aggressive. It wins on turn 6 almost universally. I mean, I think I played 100 test matches just against the AI, which the AI is an idiot, but if you're going to win early, could a human really have made a better decision? Maybe, maybe not. So why would you want to stall yourself out with these? And then 2 of them, okay, that's cool, but whatever, you already made the point. The whole point is creatures your opponents control enter the battlefield tapped. If they have haste, now they don't. So you play this on turn 1, they are now playing an entire turn behind you, and then some because you're gaining life whenever they drop something in. So if they play something crazy like the claws, Captain's Claws, and they drop in 1 token every single turn, oh my god, this is going to help. So that's it for the 1 costs. You know, not too many of those because the deck does have to be good. I will say that if you start dropping counters on the Dromedary, aka Super Camel, or God-Pharaohs, they both do not have defenders. You can actually hit them, and you can drop counters on them. Speaking of that, Serene Steward. Whenever you gain life, you may pay 1 white. If you do, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. There's only 3 because this deck was just a nightmare to get down to 60 cards. Otherwise, I'd put in 4. But these standing out there by themselves are crap, and they're one of the weakest creatures in the deck. But if you get one out there with virtually anything else in the deck, holy crap, watch out. So, kind of a balance. Then we got Lone Rider, one of the best white spells in, well, white creatures in Magic right now in Standard. First strike, lifelink 1/1. So if they start swinging with a 3/1 or a 2/1, they're gone. You could just straight up kill them without fear of repercussions, except for a boost spell. But then if they traded, I mean, it costs 2, like, get over yourself. So at the beginning of the end step, if you gain 3 or more life this turn, transform Lone Rider, which is why Blighted Steppe is in here, Authority, a couple others, because he himself, I mean, you'd need 3 of them, or you'd need to boost him, haha, Sandstone Bridge, or you would need, I don't know, just some other source or just whatever. I mean, Ariel only gains 2. It's just everything in here works to feed each other. So when he flips, he's a, well, let me just flip him. 4/4 first strike trample lifelink. Yeah. And usually by that point he has like counters on him or something, or some kind of universal boost, like Always Watching. So then we got Gearshift Ace, 2/1 first strike. Who cares about the vehicle thing he's not going to crew on? It's just 2 first strike. It just stops stuff. He costs 2, he does 2, he's good. There's 4 of them. Then we got Glory Bound Initiate. This is just a 3/1. Okay, so like somebody swings at you, you're going to kill them. You are going to trade. Trample will get past, but usually you'll be able to exert him. So he becomes a 4/4 lifelinker when you exert him. And that might outdo the majority of one entire swing at you. I know it would be a little late because he doesn't have haste, but it's just nice. And him with Always Watching, oh my god. And him with Sandstone Bridge, oh my god, because if he has Vigilance, you can exert him, and yes, he won't untap next untap step, but he won't be tapped, so you don't need him to. So yeah, he's a 5/5 lifelinker permanently, basically, with Always Watching out. Oh my gosh. So then we got Blessed Alliance. There's only 3 of these because, I mean, you got such an attack deterrent. You've got so many first strikers. There's 4 of them in the deck. I mean, are they really going to swing at you, or are they just going to panic, not do anything, and then fail to block because there's also flyers, and your creatures are too big and they all have first strike? I mean, that's just what it comes down to. And if you wanted, for 2 as an instant, you can gain 4 life, which will flip Lone Rider. Very, very, very nice card. Blessed Alliance is actually pretty expensive. I think it's like $250 a card. Everything up to this point is basically 25 cents. I mean, maybe Lone Rider is like 50 cents, maybe $1. It depends where you shop. But then we go to the 1 price card, Thalia. I mean, she was like $10. I think she's like 2 to 4 now. And there's only 1 of her. The reason there's 1 of her is because, well, she's redundant with Authority, but, you know, you only really need 4 of those because creatures and non-basic lands, that's kind of cool, your opponent's control, enter the battlefield tapped. So there you go. I mean, no more swinging at her, and even if they tried 3 first strike, but I didn't want to shift the cost up because that's the one problem with Combat Specialist 2, which is the other version of the stack. A lot of stuff costs 3. So I tried to just limit that. And then she's legendary, and you would never want to be in a scenario ever where you have 2 of her in your hand because you need to drop out stuff. This is like, you could die on turn 4 or 5 against a red deck. There is 0 room for error. So yeah, then we got 4 of the aerial responders because they're just perfect. I mean, does red have flyers? No. Simple as that. 2 life every turn, and he has vigilance, and he can block for 3. That's amazing. I mean, he's double white. He should be. Not much more to say about this. Then we got Wall of Resurgence. The most underappreciated card in Standard, period. Just what the hell is wrong with people not playing this? It's a 0/6 defender for 3, except it isn't, because when it enters the battlefield, you may put 3 1/1 counters on target land you control. If you do, that land becomes a 0/0 elemental creature, so in other words, a 3/3 elemental creature. With haste, that's still a land. In other words, awaken without awaken. For 3, and you get a 0/6 wall. So this is a 3/9 creature that can split itself into 2 pieces. One of the pieces doesn't have defender, and it costs 3 mana. What the hell is wrong with people not putting this in every deck that's white? I don't understand this. I just don't get it. I mean, okay, they can kill one of your lands now. Oh no, I'm crying all the way to the 40 life. Who cares? This deck doesn't care. I don't care. Nobody cares. You shouldn't care. But I did put in only 3 because the card costs 3. That's really the only reason. Also, I mean, 3 attack, no first strike. It is a 3/3, so I mean, that's even bigger of a deterrent than Glorybound. But it's just a 3/3 block creature. Now, I will say, because this might not come up in the gameplay, if you have Always Watching Out and you swing with Wall of Resurgence, or if you Sandstone Bridged it to give it, +1/+1 in Vigilance, and you're swinging with a 4/4 Vigilant, that's pretty good. Okay, now you first strike with Lone Rider and he deals 1 damage. It's the old Drana trick, even though Drana's not in this deck. Now he just gained life immediately from the first strike and the lifelink. So before standard combat damage, the trigger from Serene Steward will go on the stack. You pay 1, put a counter on anything else. Oh, but you're out of mana because you just cast Always Watching and you only had 3 mana. Except you had 4 because you turned one of them into a land. Now he's already attacking. Feel free to tap the attacking creature land for mana. He's still attacking. And bonus, you can put the counter on him. And bonus, I just said you gave him a Sandstone Bridge. So you've now got a 5/5, and you didn't exert him. He's going to untap. That's just like the sickest combo ever, and nobody sees it coming. Drana, okay, they get it. It's been played. We know what it does. This they don't see coming, even though it's literally the exact same thing. People, when will you learn how First Strike works? Just never. Then we got Always Watching. I've referenced it enough. Non-token creatures you control get +1/+1 and have vigilance. By the way, these are not tokens. They do qualify. They are land creatures, I guess. I don't know, whatever. Whatever they are, they're not tokens. Yeah, I mean, vigilance with First Strike. Oh, now you can hit him and block. With lifelink, hey, now you can hit him and block. I mean, Gisela, now you can hit him and block. It's really not much more to that, but they're all 1/1 bigger. Now you have a 1/5/1/5 here. That's cool. She can survive. Cool. He's bigger and more likely to flip. Cool. It stacks with Sandstone Bridge. Cool. I mean, 3 first strike. Like every card in here. Glorybound, oh my god. So every card this works with. I guess except Thalia, but then again, 4 first strike. I mean, it's pretty damn good. On him, 3 in the air instead of 2. He already has vigilance. That's cool. This one, it's still a defender, but I guess it's a 1/7, so, that's a thing, I guess. I don't know who's swinging with a 7 damage creature, but, I don't know. Actually, I saw somebody do it with a Tireless Tracker, and I blocked him. Then we got Gisela. Finally, you wouldn't really need her in the deck. With 22 lands, it's not that hard to get to 4. She's just that damn good, and she's like okay, you've got your creatures, I've got mine. Neither one of us can swing because yours are all boosted. They got counters, whatever. Now I've got 4 damage lifelink in the air and I'm swinging every single turn. So she's just good, but she is legendary. And like I said, you really want to limit your exposure to legendaries because if it's a dead card in your hand, you're going to start kind of playing one card down, and it's going to kill your board state, and you're not going to have as much damage per turn, and it just ruins everything. So 2 in there. Your probability of pulling both of them in a game is astronomical. I think it's below 5%, so don't even worry about it. I'm sure it'll happen once in a while, but you play enough Magic. So everything in this deck just works together. So the thing is, if you're not playing against Red Rush, it's still going to win. I mean, I threw this up against like 15 different decks I built. Holy crap, it beat everything. Oh, except for an all-flyers deck. It got wrecked by that for some reason. I mean, it only has 2 flyers. I guess that makes sense. And I keep wanting to call it Mega Magic because that's what it was originally called. 8 Ball. 8 Ball, even the computer running it beat me back to back to back. So that deck is demented, but it does lose to Red Rush more than this would, which this would lose never. So I would say if you don't screw up your mulligan decisions and it's not a complete disaster mull to 4, you have probably a 90% chance or better of beating the top couple decks that at least I've seen on X-Mage. And people on X-Mage have been having trouble beating this. Next up, I don't think that I correctly saved my deck because this isn't the proper sideboard, but Immolating Glare absolutely should be there. That's if they just will not stop attacking with stuff that says, and target creature can't block this turn. I mean, you do flood the battlefield with like 4 creatures in like 3 turns, but just in case it's not happening or they're shocking one out of the way while, you know, exerting the other so that you can't block or whatever, yeah, Immolating Glare. This will take care of them. Just stack it up with Blessed Alliance. You got 7 cards. That's enough to almost guarantee one in your opening hand. What I would take out, I don't know, probably, it's hard to say. I mean, maybe the wall because it costs 3 and then it's just your whole deck would speed up and it's not that important. Maybe Authority, but then again, that's helping you. Maybe I'd pull the most useless creatures, the God-Pharaoh and the Tasseled. Although, if they're having trouble getting past that, then maybe, I don't know, Gearshift, I guess, because he's not that great. I mean, whatever it is, it's obviously not working. You could just pull anything. It doesn't even matter. Then we got, okay, what is the one thing that'll beat this deck? Like, proficiently and consistently. Blowing everything up. So, make a stand. Instant, 3 cost, creatures you control get +1 attack, which is already huge. First strike, lifelink, that's hilarious. I almost mainboarded it. And indestructible until end of turn. I mean, for 3, that's some damn good value. That's crazy. It will stop stupid stuff like Sweltering Suns. It won't stop Torment, though. Pretty much nothing stops Torment. If they're playing Torment, you're probably just going to lose. The strategy for beating people running like Torment of Hailfire is to beat them before they can pull it, or before they can, you know, respectably put some mana into it. Then we got Repel the Abominable, prevent all damage that would be dealt this turn by non-human sources. So that includes planeswalkers, spells, sorceries, instant, anything. I know a lot of red creatures are humans. I'm kind of reconsidering it, but it costs 2, and it's basically like a saver card for 2. I mean, that's not bad. Even if they went first and they're running Bantus and you got like a bunch of creatures out on the field, you could still maybe play this. Well, maybe not that early because you would have spent it on creatures, but like turn 5 or something. Then I got Deck in Stone. I recall pulling this, so it's not supposed to be in there. I don't remember what's supposed to be in its place. Got me. Probably another Immolating Glare clone, but I don't know. If they're running like servos or something stupid, this will nuke a whole line of them, and obviously I put 3 of them in there. This card's not particularly cheap, but like I said, sideboards are for your local meta. It doesn't have to be anything real specific. Just has to beat whatever you're losing to. And yeah, you could lose to Flood, maybe. I mean, First Strike and Lifelink, you're probably not going to lose to flooded tokens or cloned creatures or something. But if people are getting out, you know, multiple creatures with the same name that are basically tokens, this will do it. Otherwise, you're just going to hand them a bunch of clues. Not a good idea. So that's it for this deck, but I will definitely recommend that you watch the gameplay because you're probably looking at this deck and you're like, oh, that's kind of neat. You have to see it in action. In fact, like handing the computer a Red Rush deck is just stupid. They're not going to get the math right. I'll just show how this deck works in a vacuum like I normally do, but I also really want to show it just wrecking some humans. So I might try to upload that if I can get a good clean recording of somebody actually staying in the game, not timer stalling, not leaving, not DDoSing the server. I mean, the server not crashing, the login server actually working for once. X-Mage is a flaming pile of crap. But if I can get a clean recording, you will see that. Otherwise, just watch the AI ones because, like I said, I just show how this deck works. Not, oh, look, it beat the computer. Nobody's that stupid. Of course, you can beat the computer. I can beat the computer with anything. I mean, duh. The computer misplays all the time. I just want to show how these cards interact and when to do what and when to pay for what and how to save your mana if you know this is going to happen and when to play this or not to play it, that kind of stuff. That's just one-sided. So who cares who my opponent is? Just why not play a 4-minute game instead of a 40-minute game? Real simple. Don't know why some people still don't get that, but some people are kind of dumb. So thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys can build this and shut down all the Red Rush morons at your LGS, and I will see you guys next video.